Hello, hello, and welcome back to Gnoll Home. We're hanging out with this frumpy lad again, I guess. Uh, you know, he's cute. He's. I think the main character has like the cutest fucking design, but we can't date ourselves, I guess. Inside the cave-like pocket created beneath the fallen forest vegetation, I see all manner of household goods tumbled tumbled onto the ground. Top squats low, meticulously sorting and repacking them back into the covered wicker baskets they came from. I recognize this place from my dream, where Tov tended to me, and that's when it really set in. It wasn't me he was doing all that for. I look down over him, biting my lip as I reevaluate that tender, vulnerable moment we shared. It wasn't earned. I stole it. Gash didn't even get to say goodbye, did he? He didn't get to hear Tov's feelings at the end. I start to feel dizzy, bracing myself against the mouth of the deadfall. Tov looks up at me with an annoyed expression that demands I explain myself. I don't know what to say. I'm such an idiot. It feels like the walls are closing in on me, like musty roots of this dreary dreadfall are crushing the stale air from my very lungs. At least make yourself useful. His voice cuts through to me as I find myself gasping for breath, only earned another incredulous stare from the smaller Gnoll. He's still convinced I'm trying to trick him somehow. The big scary demon just wanting for him to drop his guard. At least I can breathe again. He shakes his head and pushes one of the filled baskets over towards me. I can tell it's heavy from how much he strains to move it, but when I reach out to lift the strap, I find it effortless to heft over my shoulder. He finishes packing up the other one and pushes it back for me to load up with before securing the last few items in a satchel that he keeps for himself. He looks through it to verify the contents briefly, sighing in relief after he finishes. What's in there? The most important cargo. He keeps this explanation brief and frustratingly vague, but my gormless expression seems to pressure an answer out of him. Letters, okay. We're the only means of communication between the Tusk and the Gnolls still trapped in the Empire. I can tell my look of absentia speaks volumes on my comprehension. My comprehension's bad, prompting another frustrated groan from the little Gnoll. Look, I can't babysit you and explain the whole world to you. He reaches into the pack and fishes out that journal he was writing before. Here, you can hold on to this until we get back to the village. Maybe reading that will help you understand the world of the living. You can read, can't you? Of course I can read. Oh. Lore! Oh my god, that's small. That's small. Oh my god. What is this? We'll read this some other time. We'll get to that eventually. I really hope I can read. Once we've got everything loaded up, we head back towards Opa's hut with Stinky in tow. I briefly wonder why Stinky isn't helping to carry anything, but surprisingly the cargo isn't much of the burden at all for me. This body really is pretty burly. Having Stinky along for the walk back really does liven the mood, keeping the atmosphere light with casual banter, and mercifully actually answering my questions. He's kind of a lot at first, but I find that he's starting to grow on me, now that I'm used to the smell. From the way he tells it, the Wombwood is a country-sized blight on the land that the otherwise unflappable Imperials won't touch with a 10-mile pole. It takes months to circumnavigate safely, and pretty much all that's on the far side past here is dust and desert, so they have no reason to bother with it. But they can take the Empire and shove it under tail. He makes a crude gesture to demonstrate the analogy. Surprisingly, even Tom's mood has improved enough for a bit of sarcasm. Careful. They say the Emperor hears all. Ugh, if he's all so high and mighty, let him strike me down. As if the forest itself had an ear for comic timing, the Gnoll managed to step on a loudly snap a twig beneath him, just after his proclamation. Okay, there they go. This causes a decidedly undignified yelp to escape him as he's startled into a nearby bush. Toph can't help but laugh at the buffoonish display, and I'm inclined to join him, feeling relieved to see him at least a little less grim now. A pair of brown-socked paws emerge from the bush, pumping upwards victoriously. Still alive! Suck it, Emperor! We reconvene back at Opa's place, rousing him from a nap I don't think he intended to take. Mercifully, he's actually dressed this time. Stinky tends to him, while Toph inspects the cargo briefly to make sure I didn't break anything. As Toph starts to take stock of our inventory, I get a bit distracted from the inspection when my ears tune. What is this? Ears tune me. Okay. In the other Gnarl's conversation in progress. We get to go with them. Really? Stinky's tail is practically wagging like a puppy's. Opa chuckles softly and does his best to settle the boy. Aye, lad. Your gate's nice and empty, right? Yep. Every last drop. So I should be good for a few days at least. And we can see him this time, right? I realize my ears have physically swiveled around to listen to their conversation, which is probably pretty noticeable and pretty rude. So I shake my head to try and focus on Toph instead. The smaller Gnoll shields his ears as he looks skyward. Should be enough daylight left to make it there before dark if we hustle. Hopefully I won't slow you down too much. If you get tired, I can always piggyback you. I've half a mind to offer the same, but I realize that'd be a bit awkward with me already handling the cargo. There's still enough life in these old bones of mine to make it to the village. Our journey is pretty quiet for the most part, with only occasional color commentary from Stinky to punctuate the sounds of nature as he gets distracted by something or other to scavenge and munch on. Plus a few pee breaks. A lot of them, actually. Stinky insists that the highest mark on a tree means you own it. I concede all ownership claims. Cool. As we get further from the lush vegetation of the forest outskirts, I can't help but ask what's on my mind. Oh, why is the village so far from the forest? It looks pretty dead out here. The further from the Empire, the better. And while there isn't much game, we honestly don't need much to survive. Where there's resources, there's competition. I guess that makes sense. But it still feels weird being so disconnected from the rest of the world. Oh, tell me about the canyon. We're almost there. He can see it for himself. And indeed, peering forward, I'm able to spot what they're referring to. Ahead, the hills drive up into a sharp raise that wraps as far as the eye can see in either direction. You'd be hard-pressed to mount it even with proper climbing gear. But dead ahead of us, a gloomy crevice splits the path into a slender canyon. It'd be pretty hard to find if you didn't have someone to guide you to it. Only way to get to the village, unless you go through the flats on the other side. Huh? As we get closer, my nose gives well, I almost gives me an indication of what's so special about this place. There's an acrid malodorous aroma, like rotten eggs and salt, that seems to seep from the canyon itself. I hear Stinky take a deep breath, sighing and letting his tongue hang out as he samples the scents. Brimstone! It's the basalt barrier. Our last line of defense against the Imperials. The fumes make them sick. Based on what I'm smelling, I can relate. I don't feel like I'm going to retch or anything, though. Must be that gift Tav mentioned. Opa smiles and pats my tummy. But gnolls are made of sterner stuff. I try and offer him a smile and thanks for his reassurance, but my heart isn't in it. Even though the canyon walls are wide enough apart to pass through easily, somehow they still feel too close for comfort. The strange hexagonal columns that make up the canyon catch my eye. They jut up sharply to form the canyon walls on either side. They must be some sort of bizarre natural formation, providing uneven steps for us to tread across. For some reason, I can't shake the feeling that those walls are going to collapse in around me at any moment. I try to focus on just moving forward, ignoring the uneasy raising in my chest. I ignore that tremor in my legs that makes it difficult to walk. I ignore my ragged, ill-paced breathing, which only further overwhelms me with that sulfurous stench. Tav looks over his shoulder and notices me falling behind. He moves to tap at the leash around his wrist and encourages me to catch up. But he stops when he catches sight of my face. I don't know what he sees there, but it's enough. He backtracks a bit and places a paw on my shoulder, settling my breathing. Come on, Mr. Josh. We're burning daylight. It's not exactly the most gentle guidance he could offer, but it's the first time he's called me by my name. Even that little nudge helps me push through. He takes me by the paw, more gently than I expected. He gives it a soft squeeze, and I squeeze back. I can see his face as he walks on ahead, but I hope he's not too upset at me. I wish I wasn't such a burden. Here I am, the person he hates most in the world, the one who took Gash away from him, helpless as a babe and dragging down everyone around me. I just want to get this over with. As we break through the other side of the canyon and the noxious reek of brimstone begins to abate, I hope that's that word, I see the trio I'm traveling with bathed in the hues of the golden hour. Stinky bounces from foot to foot as he eagerly points out the village outskirts in the distance. Opa chuckles and reminisces about soup. But Tav still has that distant look. Oh, that's cute. Jesus Christ, we're huge. Oh my god. Oh. Man, if I woke up with a body like that, Jesus. I'd be pretty okay with that. I'd be pretty happy. I'd be horny more than anything else, but yeah, you know how it is. The village up ahead, we'll end things. Part of me wants to stay here with them, but that's just selfish of me, isn't it? I'm such an idiot. The others start making their way down into the village proper, the day's journey finally at end. I'm not ready for this to end. Well, that that do just be where that ends, I guess. I enjoy that a lot. I like the artwork a lot. I like the idea of being a big ol' yeen. Look at that. Oh. Damn. Anyway, I should probably end the part there. So I guess I'll see you the next time this gets updated or whatever. It was a good time. Anyway, I'll see you guys around.